to the Less Than Expert podcast, where we talk about everything and nothing. We're your hosts,
Lots of fun.
Amanda and Katie. And on today's episode, we are going to dig into some personal finance.
Yes, if you know Amanda, you know she is passionate about finances and maximizing what you get out of your finances. So
Don't you dare tell me you don't have a Roth IRA. I will help you with that.
I don't yet, but I will because of you. So yeah, I am going to ask Amanda some questions just to get a feel of how she got to where she is today with her financial situation and how she helps other people.
My palms are already sweaty.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So first, tell us a little bit about your background and like what actually pushed you to start looking into finance and making changes for yourself.
I had zero finance expertise. Zero, none, no interest. I barely knew what a 401k was until 2018. And my background was I went to college for communications. I've always worked in broadcast, production, digital production. And again, really didn't understand anything. I knew to save. I knew to not carry credit card debt. And that was the...
Hey, those are important. People don't know that.
But I felt good. Okay, but when Jeff and I got engaged, we got engaged 2017. We were getting married in 2018. I had this light bulb moment of, oh my God, no one's coming to save us. And I knew we'd be merging whatever debt or wealth, please, whatever our assets were or were not, we would be merging that. And I started feeling the weight of it, of taking this big step into adulthood. I was graduating from grad school. I had taken out student loans in 2017, and those hit. Those were over 7% loans, and
oh my God,
they accrue very quickly. So that first bill was so shocking to me. We were planning a wedding, which, as you know, is I fought
insane.
it. It's insane. I fought it, but bless Jeff, he's really social.
That's
so
cute.
I tried to convince him to elope, but that wasn't happening. So, I had to figure that out. And then 2018, we bought a house right before we got married. So we had these huge chunks of money going out the door. Scary. And neither of us were financially savvy. And I was just having this vivid vision of us just not just being in over our heads and not knowing what we were doing. So the way I started was I started asking family members, hey, we're getting married.
Yeah.
What do you recommend? How did you merge finances or not merge finances? So I started interviewing.
Oh God.
I know.
It's always so polarizing.
It's so polarizing. And it's personal.
Yeah.
So it's such an uncomfortable thing. And not everyone was willing to share. But I had, oh my gosh, my Uncle Ambrose is the sweetest. So he and my aunt, I don't think she worked a W-2 ever. I think they floated. She was an investor. And so they maintained finances that way. He worked.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, they have it figured out. They know how to do this. And so my uncle sent me a series of books, which got me started. It was so sweet.
Okay.
And then I started asking Jeff's sisters. They're married, happily married. They both, financially successful. And so they were giving me their 2 cents on, it's just super high level. They weren't going to give me
which is normal.
Yeah,
it's personal.
It's personal. It's so personal. And I wasn't officially married into the family yet. So I don't,
You weren't one of them.
I wasn't one of them yet. Not yet. So that's where I started. And the more we were spending, the more I started to realize we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And I just so happened, there was a group at the time called Ladies Get Paid out of New York. And I forget how I came across them, but they had an event happening in Austin.
Okay.
And so...
you're answering my questions before I even asked them.
See, I told you just ask me a question and I'll just talk,
Well,
y'all.
This is the whole next series is books, podcasts, things that you listen to.
Oh, yeah.
what certifications courses, so I feel like that's where
Yeah.
you're going. So just keep going.
I'll keep going, and then we'll make sure on lessonexpert.com that we will include a list of resources, because the other thing is when you're trying to learn about money, you don't want to spend money to learn about money. I mean, maybe, and I did do that. I did the Ladies Get Paid. There was an event at RIP Mercury Hall, which I ended up getting married at later.
Cute.
So cute. And had a great experience, just like a one-night panel. I took a lot away, but there was a woman there working for the Austin organization who ripped off that listserv, and she created a finance group for women in Austin.
Nice.
So she sent out this email blast like, hey, if anyone's interested, I'm charging $500 for this in-person, I think it was, I can't remember if it was 6 or 10 weeks of classes, weekly classes, small group pilot. And I follow, when something lights up for me, I follow it. And that lit up for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I signed up. She did like a whole background check, and it got interviewed. She built a group of women that I think were pretty like-minded, and there were maybe 5 or 6 of us in this, I think 6 of us in this pilot program. And that really opened my eyes to finance not being, this is going to be such a, not the best comment, but I really saw finance as being like for others, particularly for old white men. Truthfully. My dad,
in finance, yes.
The person I would go to for like anytime it was benefits, and I'm an adult, and I would still go to my dad of like, what do I sign up for? What am I doing? But again, getting married, I realized that was, and I was marrying a man who also, I was doing the same with his, we could do a lot of things, but we just couldn't do money for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we won't.
It's daunting.
It's daunting, and it's intentionally made that way to be intimidating.
Well, and I mean, tell me your experience, but I think going into it with a partner, it's like you don't just have your own feelings about it. You're dealing with someone else's feelings too.
Right.
And that can be very difficult, because what if they're on a different page?
Or they are hiding debt, or it's such a big conversation. And I remember too, one of my sisters at the time saying, she's an attorney, and she was like, you should really consider a prenup. And I was like, well, I have no assets. But now, hindsight, I get why she was saying that, because you just went through
I
this.
probably would do a prenup.
You would do a prenup. Because especially in the state of Texas, you pay out half no matter what from your marriage. Anyway, that's not a concern for me. but all I'm saying is, like, I knew nothing, and I just knew I knew nothing, and I could see these really big numbers hitting, and I wasn't in a position, nor was my husband, to go and ask for financial help, like handouts, right? Like, we had some privilege, and I'll happily get into that of where we had help and our backgrounds, that, because I think that's important too, to acknowledge that we had some help.
People are starting off at different places. Not everybody starts off.
Yes. And on our money journey, the other piece that I didn't really understand in the beginning, but dual incomes, 2 incomes, does get you places a lot faster. And you have to, if you really want to grow wealth, you have to make more money and understand how to make that money work for you. And so I knew none of this.
Yeah.
When I started the course, the first thing she did that I thought was so interesting was she went over money mindset, of how do you feel about money? What's your background with money?
Interesting.
It was so helpful. And I would never have done that. But her perspective was, that's how it shapes how you view. If you view money as this negative, scarce thing, that's going to be your story. And that will impact how you make and spend money and live your life.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. And it's kind of true, I think.
It's so true. And I could see that with these women. And it was such an intimate group that it was all laid out. We shared all our numbers. We shared all our goals together. We went through these extras. It was a really brilliant course. And for a pilot, like it really did change my life. And so that was very helpful, because one of the first things we did too, so you do your money mindset, you write down money mantras, and you set some goals for the beginning before you even look at numbers.
Is this goals like anything.
It could
It could
be
be outlandish, crazy. You'll probably never
yes,
get it,
yes,
or obviously more realistic.
yes. And we
Okay.
got into things like journaling 5 years, 10 years, if you could do anything, because the mindset is so powerful. And so that, don't sleep on that. That was such a big thing for
Well,
me.
it's also a lot like manifesting and
Yes,
journaling. Like
yes. If you're focused
you
on
can
it,
project what you really want to focus on, and
right,
if you write it, it could
it
potentially
can
be.
come true.
Yeah.
And the other thing that it does is it refines your values, your goals. So someone in the group might really love and feel value out of designer bags. There is no shame in that. I really wanted to buy real estate, right? Like, and to some of the women in the group, they're like, I don't want that at all. I want to rent and not have the responsibility.
Mhm.
For me, it was like, I don't want designer. As I sit here in like gym clothes and will wear them until they're tattered, right? Like, that's not where I placed my values. But before I did that exercise, I would just, because I didn't know, I would just like spend. And as long as I had some savings in the bank,
You felt okay.
I felt okay. But I had no long-term planning, no goal setting, and I didn't refine where my values were, where I wanted to do value-based spending.
Okay.
So all of that framework helped. And then she brought in yeah, and it was all women. It was young women coming in, learning
That's
how
awesome,
to do.
though.
It was amazing because I was meeting
Women doing that for themselves.
doing it for themselves and then sharing the wealth. I mean, there was so much that came out of that first course, and I would read books and I would like wake up in the middle of the night, like I have goosebumps. Like I would wake up in the middle. I do, of like, I can do this. Like I convinced Jeff. He's the best. He would just like roll, and he's always rolled with my crazy ideas. And I learned that I have a very high risk tolerance throughout this course. Like, so that's another piece. Anyway, so the course was really helpful for me. I also started reading tons of books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, A Simple Path to Wealth. I mean, Ramit Sethi, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. There are some fantastic basics. There's one that will get you really revved up, Your Money or Your Life. I think I've recommended it to everyone on our team before. Because
that sounds scary to me.
It's co-authored, and it is to hit home that when you're working, it's not just 9 to 5. You're thinking about working. You're spending time with coworkers after. You might be dreaming about work. Are you going and ordering clothes to wear to work?
Do we bill time we're dreaming about work?
And that's kind of their point, is you have to think about what is the value of that job, because you're giving so much of your actual life to it. So you have to take your salary. If you're making $80K, but you're really spending 120 hours a week thinking about work,
it's not enough.
What is the value of that? Anyway, so there are a lot of great resources out there, and I just started to just devour and podcast. It was so
okay. That's good. That's kind of okay. So yeah. So you did books, podcasts. You did that initial course that was actually really mind-opening or eye-opening for you.
The program gave us a template to map out our net worth. And so what I did, and this was one of the tidbits I took from my sisters-in-laws, is I scheduled, I think at the time it was just a quarterly finance meeting with Jeff, where we sat down and we would manually update. There are tools that will do this for you automatically, but we would manually update all our numbers and everything that was coming in, everything that was going out, everything that was invested, all of our taxes and benefits, so that we had a clear picture of our net worth. Those meetings are hard because it's tedious.
But it's probably, tell me, it's probably important, especially when you're working with a partner versus just being on your own, but to set aside that time to talk to each other, to really level set.
It became one of the most important things that we did for ourselves, because it helped us feel confident in our financial decisions. So we ended up buying a second property in 2019. Awesome. And we did, when I say I'm risk tolerant, y'all, we had no money. I mean, we were like, it was because we had just paid off wedding. We had this house. I had just paid off grad school, and we were just starting to build a little nest egg. And I was like, oh, rates are good. Let's just dump it into this.
Jump on this opportunity.
And I convinced him.
But it was good timing.
It was great timing. And I convinced him this man is amazing because like, I don't know how, I don't
He's
know.
a hype man. He put his trust
He's
in
a
you.
hype man.
That's awesome.
I am so proud of him because he is also like set it and forget it on me. And as we now have kids and I have to be a little less risk tolerant. We're more in that world. But yeah, it was a lot. But it helped us put together common goals to understand where his values in spending and what was important to him. And the other piece that was so critical was going through and really understanding what we need to spend or what we're spending every month. Like down to, we took all of our annual, quarterly expenses, food, grocery, all of it. And we do that, we update it because, we've had a second kid and with your property tax rates will change, whatever. So we have to update those numbers. That gave us the FU number because we could do some math on, okay, if I want to retire at 50, where do I need to be then? But also, if I lost my job, how much runway do we have?
What's the FU number? Because I'm translating FU into something completely different than what I think you're talking about.
It's the FU, like I'm out. I quit.
Oh, okay. Then
yeah, you're on.
Correct.
So I hadn't heard about like through all this I learned about the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early. There are a lot of people out there who are very extreme with how they become millionaires and come up with their number. We are not. We are a live your life, but also plan. Yeah. So like, me, I've taken trips and we're doing some landscape, like we invest in a quality of life, values-based spending. And then we are, still, we prioritize our goals. Like there was a whole, I think it was, I can't remember what year it was, a quarter, where I challenged this finance group and myself. Anytime we spent money, we also matched it with an investment for ourselves. It was very hard to do.
Smart.
It was
depending on how much you're spending on.
Well, because if you buy like a big ticket, like a piece of furniture or had like a car maintenance thing, for me, it's like you could determine what you wanted. But anytime I was spending money, I was like, oh, I gotta match it. It was very hard. It was very hard. Anyway, so we started chipping away, setting goals. It is amazing what happens when you take ownership of your money.
Yeah.
And when you start really focusing on what it could do. And then I really started to understand my money could work for me instead of me just working for money.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And so it's really the only financial freedom passive role that you can have is when you start all this time you're working, it needs to go back into you, pay yourself first, right? And so how do you invest in yourself? Anyway, so we just kind of reset and prioritized where we wanted to invest. We opened more brokerage accounts. My mother-in-law is amazing. In another life, she would have been a CFO. She loves, we talk about like, what are you investing in? And she's always sending me her hot tips because she's watching these shows, these finance shows.
Awesome.
It's the best. She's the best. She's the best. And I've just started to be really open about it. I will talk someone's ear off if, for a while it was like Series I bonds or what's crypto doing or real estate or, if there's things fluctuate, things change. Anyway, so I've always taken things to extreme and we'll talk your ear off about where the finance world is. And that's sort of like long-winded saying of it's been such a journey. We're now 7 years in. But once you get into it, it's like the snowball effect. You start to understand it and learn how it works for you.
What do you think the hardest part was? Like what?
There's a lot. I mean, a lot of it can be hard. It is overwhelming. It is intentionally designed to be confusing and to seem complicated. There's a lot of nuance, but there are a lot of resources. You can figure it out.
We're all capable.
We're all capable, especially now with AI. I mean, you can go in and you just have to verify, right?
Yeah.
But knowing where to go for information is the most helpful. I don't pay a financial planner. I do it all myself. We don't hire anybody. We talked about doing it, but that fee compounds over time. And when I do the math, if we had a $20 million net worth, sure, maybe I'd have someone come help.
But I feel like there's so many tools out there now that it's almost depleted the need to really
Yes.
do that. Unless,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people just really don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Which, kudos to you, do it.
Kudos to you, but also don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
Because there, a lot of times you have an advisor who will push products, they're making an extra percentage on it. That 2 or 3% really compounds over time. And you're basically just paying someone to do something that you could easily do. And that could be 6 figures by the time you've retired or more, depending on how much wealth. And so you don't want to sleep on watching what someone else is doing for you anyway. So my take is,
if you can do it, do it.
I'd rather do it. Yeah, I'd rather do it myself.
What's one thing that you learned that completely changed the way you think about money?
That it's doable was the first thing, like reframing my mindset around it. And then once I started to see how quickly the numbers changed, that was very exciting. The other thing that really changed my mind, this was right at the beginning of my journey. I have a classmate from grad school who talked about what he called adult money. And we were all in school, we were like, what is adult money? That sounds scandalous.
Is it like a trust fund?
No, his take was, you cannot have quality of life for your family unless you're making at least 160.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, I was nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Nowhere, 2017. And it opened my eyes of like, oh, these numbers are achievable. So it's true, like when you start having these conversations and you start hanging out with people who are thinking bigger, it changes things for you.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated and I'd done all this work for my job and now I had this degree, boy, I went to work on advocating for myself for the raise.
Well, and I want to add, you didn't just advocate for yourself, you advocated
Everybody.
for the entire team, which
Yeah.
has benefited us all
Yes.
so much.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Hey, pay it forward. You know what I mean? I mean, because once you start to see the numbers and dig into it, yes, women are deeply underpaid. And it's also helpful when you start to understand your market value.
Yeah.
Then you can advocate for yourself. So that was so eye-opening for me. So again, like mind shift is everything, your mindset.
Okay.
And that was the biggest thing. When he talked about adult money, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, it helped a lot. And so now it's like when someone lowballs their worth or it's like, no. Can we reframe that? The limit does not exist.
All right. What are some big mistakes you see people making just right off the bat?
Not paying attention to what they're investing in, getting into
or just investing it. Period.
Or like getting into speculative or like up and coming, like obviously Bitcoin is starting to become more valuable, more understood. It's not mainstream because the point of it is to be decentralized. But I was seeing people going all in on this speculative investment option. Don't spend more than 4%, right?
Don't jump in too quickly.
Don't jump in too quickly. And I was guilty of that. I went and I was like, Betterment, and I don't remember. I signed up for all these different like robo advisors. And in the beginning, that was great because I could pay a small fee and it would come up with a investing strategy for me. But over time, I saw those fees compounding. And so I just went in and I looked at what they were investing in, what was performing well and what wasn't.
Yeah.
And I pulled out. And now I just invest myself. I did a couple. I did like Titan, and a couple others were like, this is very questionable. So really, you
just kind of learned the way and then decided, okay, I know enough about this now. I can do it
myself. But if I were to do it again, I would just simplify too, because we had money all over the place. I was diversifying in every way possible. I would simplify. I would stick with a trusted bigger bank like a Fidelity, a Vanguard. Make sure you know what you're investing in. Don't just invest because you hear someone talk about it. Understand what the company is, what they stand for, what their plan is. Do a little research. And if you're very overwhelmed, just do index funds. Just watch your fees. And that would be the biggest thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what is a big myth about money that you think people just don't understand or are being tricked into thinking?
That it's evil. It's not evil. Money is a tool. That's all it is. And it's a concept. We put value into money that for the most part isn't even physical anymore. It lives online.
It's not real.
It's not real. It's just a concept. that it's valuable because we say it's valuable. And the ultra wealthy are using money, they're leveraging debt, and they're leveraging trust. They aren't actually spending their dollars. So when you start to understand that it's really a game. It's really a game. And if you let go that it's evil, it's not evil. What people choose to do can be evil, but money itself is a tool.
You just got to learn how to play the game.
And your first priority should be feeling secure for you. What do you need to feel secure? That's the main thing. And people let it get in the way of relationships. That, I think you've got to learn to set boundaries with it and with others, and understand what money really is. And it's just a tool.
Okay. So knowing you and everything I've gone through in the last year, you have always been so good about just trying to help me and figure out my finances and
make
just
you rich.
BITCH. Make me rich. What makes you want to do that?
Because life is a pie. I don't think life is pie. I think it's so much more fun when you are part of someone else's success and you see other people thriving and being successful.
It's true.
It's great. It's great. And then you can pay it forward. Your kids are more secure. I used to get jealous because I didn't understand how to create it for myself.
Yeah.
But once I understood, oh my God, it was so freeing. Again, like, this is such a tool. It's just, that's all it is. It was so freeing. And I felt so secure in what I was doing, and that money would come and go, and, you could always make more and whatever. I want that for everybody. I want everyone to be, and not just women, but I see in particular that women,
they're typically the ones that are shying away from it, or
right.
I don't know, just have a lot to learn because it's not something that is so focused on when you're younger, as you're growing up.
It's very much like a gender bias, but women are better with money. We invest better with money. We actually are higher risk takers with money.
This would be fun to look at some statistics.
Yeah. And we should include that on the site. Women also give more. We invest in others.
I can see. And the empathy part, I can definitely see.
Yes. And so there's nothing bad that happens when the women around me are making more money and make more than me. Go off, queen. Like, I think it's great. I don't see life as pie. And when people tell you that, oh, in the business, we only have this allocated for, it's like, well, there's always a way, and there's always more money. We can always make more money. Don't look at life as pie.
That's a very good mantra. I look at you as a financial translator all the time. I'm constantly asking you questions, and I know you always have the answer. Do you see yourself that way?
No, and I'm so behind on this, but I did start studying for the CFP to become a financial planner, because it's so vast. There's so much to know, and things change. The rules change.
Yeah.
Every administration changes rules. Your tax rules change. They typically come out the year before with some change. Anyway, so no, I don't think I am an expert by any means, hence less than expert. But I know enough, and I'm resourceful enough to be able to point people in the right direction and to provide resources and just get you thinking about it. But I would just say, and my lawyers would say, I am not the expert. Take it all with a grain of salt. That you need to do your own research, because the other thing is, I'm not Katie, so I don't have your same goals, your same.
No, like, everybody's life is different.
Everyone's life is different. And so unless I was actually your certified financial planner, you would have to take anything that I say and apply it to make it work for you. So if the Roth IRA, which, oh girl, I'm going to fight you on that one. That one is.
No, I want to do one.
We should do it today. It seems
there.
overwhelming, right? It's like, seems daunting, but it isn't. It isn't. I'll help you. Anyway, all that to say is, I don't see myself as the expert, but I see myself as someone who can help, spread the message. And I would love to do that on this podcast as things come up or things change, of like, hey, what might this mean for you? How can you work with this? Like, my new research and strategy is AI and quantum computing infrastructure and how to invest in that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But it's exciting because you're watching.
I'm just barely learning about it, so feeling that would feel daunting to me to think about investing in it just because I know so little about it.
But that's
Well,
part of
not
the
AI,
but
but
that's what I
quantum
mean.
computing.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean though for the research is understand what it is that you're getting into. Don't just invest because I say you should do this. You need to do the research on does that feel right for you? You might want SRIs, which are socially responsible investments, right? You might
Yeah.
want something that's like Visa, MasterCard, or healthcare, or whatever it is. The other thing I hear people tell me because I have conversations with women all the time about money. I have so many women that say, "Well, I don't want to invest in oil and gas because it doesn't align with my values." Well, do you drive a car? Do you buy new clothes? Do
So it's
you
used for so many
travel?
things.
It's in
Almost everything.
petroleum is in everything. I'm not saying go against your values, but what I'm saying is make the money. Be an own a piece of
And
it
then give back to
and then give back.
Yeah.
And then do your part for the environment. But if otherwise you're letting money pass you by and there's not much you can do about it. Meanwhile, you're still driving your car, you're still using electricity in your home. So you have to really think about what you're saying there. Don't let wealth pass you by because again, it's a tool that you can then use to invest. And I invest in
And it gives you
startups
more
and
power
right.
to hopefully help the causes that you're passionate about later.
Exactly. So you can invest in other women, businesses, politics, your schools, whatever it is. I mean, it's so freeing.
Okay, so my next question, which you've kind of somewhat answered, but I want to ask it anyway just in case, is
Yeah.
what are your next plans? Which you said something about a certification and
Yes.
then looking into investing in AI and quantum computing.
Yes, Jeff and I have decided we're done with real estate. It those who say it's passive lie. It is a lot. We don't have a property manager, so we do all of the maintenance ourselves. We've bought our home and our investment property, which by the way, our home I don't necessarily see as an investment because it's purely a debt asset. We're not making money off it because we pay the mortgage. Yeah, if we sold it, if we got equity out of it, then yes. But not very passive. So yes, I'm looking to do honestly with where things are in the world and the economy, cash, maybe some more foreign investments because the US dollar is weakening. And then you can't hide from AI and quantum computing. I do think quantum computing is going to I don't know that I would say it'd be bigger than AI, but I think it's going to shift things as big as AI is shifting things. And the amount of power and resources taken to power these new tools is astronomical. So I need to do more research on where to invest in that, but also where to invest in the offset of that. Like I think water already we're seeing water become this incredibly precious resource. I very much worry that water will no longer be.
It's terrifying, especially in Texas. In Texas, it's scary. There's already so many places in Texas where water is brought to you.
Right.
So
I think that's a concern that, and again, like, I don't know if that's something I'm investing in to protect or what, but there's research that needs to be done there. And you're also seeing foreign countries and billionaires essentially working on making water an expense.
Expensive thing that later in life is going to
benefit them and not the global population. Anyway, I digress. So there are a few areas, the CFP, yes, for twofold. I don't know if I'll ever actually go through the full certification. I don't know. But I want to learn more of the ins and outs and nuance. And I know that there's probably AI CFPs already in the works, but I want to know it myself. And to be able to speak to more just, like estate planning. And there was more that I wished I could have helped you with as you were going through your divorce. But like just to have that knowledge to be able to continue to help the people in my life would be great. I mean, my mom called about my grandma who's 93 and getting her estate in order.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's 4 kids and they all have kids. So like, what does that need to look like? And how do you protect her for all of it? She may go another 7 years, who knows? Anyway, so being able to help them makes me feel good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 last things.
Okay.
First one, what is one quick thing our listeners could do to just one habit they could implement that's easy to change their financial life as it is right now?
First, the easiest is a money mantra.
Okay.
I am wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. When I take control of my wealth, amazing thing happens. And I always do it in like the I am statement, not the I will be, because then you're always reaching. But you want it to be something that you
Present or at least
present,
near term.
right?
Okay.
That to me is the easiest, and it seems so woo woo, but it is really powerful. It is. The mind is a powerful thing.
And then last question: is there any other advice you want to give the listeners today?
Get
before we
started.
sign off?
Don't think that my partner's the finance expert. They'll handle it. Don't
Do it yourself.
do it, and like know where everything is. Don't just assume you're taken care of, because it is daunting. Even I can't tell you how many financial experts there are out there who don't have their own trust and estate, or
Oh yeah,
and
that is so true.
it's right. Don't take for granted. Know where everything is. I mean, Jeff gets so annoyed with me, but I make him go over every quarter. This is where all the things, this is where all the money is. These are all the accounts. He has visibility. So, and he is set up as the beneficiary. We set up a trust. We're going to make edits now because we've got a second child. Like, don't sleep on that stuff, because tomorrow isn't promised. And
something could happen, and it could end up, your
Right.
kids could be
in,
left with nothing.
in trouble.
I don't know. It's scary.
And it's scary. And you also, like, you got to think about, again, this is why learning the CFP thing is so important, because it's not just if I died, what if I become incapacitated? And I'm actually we both make pretty equal money, but I am the steadier bread maker because he works on commission. So what if something happens to me and I'm not bringing that money, but I'm still alive? And so then you've got to pay for the medical care.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell the house because I'm alive. I can't sign off. So you've got to.
So many people think that this is something that
won't
happen.
happen.
But as I've grown
No.
older, I've
You've witnessed
legitimately
it.
witnessed it happening to people that I know and really care about. And it is hard to watch, and you just want to help them.
And then you have assets that you have to then pay $20,000 to go through probate court, even though they should be yours. So don't sleep on it. Don't just say, oh, my partner has it. That is not enough. Everyone needs to take responsibility for their own finances. The only other thing that I think I would like to do is design some kind of like game or educational thing for kids and money.
Oh, that would be so smart.
But we got to figure out what that needs to be.
I know. I think in elementary school back in the day when
Yeah.
I went there,
Yeah.
they made us learn how to write in a checkbook and like keep a
Yes.
balance,
Yes.
and we would earn
I had to
cougar
do that
cash,
too. Yeah.
and we would be able to spend it on certain things, and it was
Yeah.
so important.
Yes.
It literally taught me how to write a check.
Right.
And I know we don't necessarily need checks, but it taught me how to balance a budget.
How to balance a budget and not overspend what's in your account.
And they don't do that anymore.
No. And you should, even if you're not living off debit or writing checks, which honestly we do both sometimes. So
I mean,
it's still a thing.
Some people like checks, and you have to pay them with the check.
You got to pay with the check. So we have checks. So anyway, yeah, that would be something I would very much like to do, is to design some kind of game for our kids.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So more to come. I wasn't allowed to share any numbers because my husband wants to keep that private.
That's okay. This was so great with no numbers.
I think, again, like, if you have questions about privilege, what help did we get, by all means, I'm happy to share, because I also think that's an important thing. I hate when I hear people tell their story of like, she started with $50 in the garage. Like, no, you didn't. You had family money. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and I mean, someone was probably letting you live in their house, your parents or a family member. Like, you didn't have rent to pay.
Yeah,
so,
you have to acknowledge that to make it. But I have to say, if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I was a like throw a book against the wall, so frustrated with money, and just didn't
with math. So.
Yeah, and now it's like if I lost my job today, I'd be so sad, but we would be okay. And that's
a good place to be, because it makes your life a lot less stressful.
Yes, it gives me a lot of.
So at least know you have some leeway if something crazy happens.
Yeah, and I hold back a lot less at work. For better or
you
worse.
Do? No, I'm just kidding.
She's seen it. Anyway, more to come. I think in our next episode, we're going to take a look at your financial situation, go through.
Help me.
Yeah, I think you're in a really good spot. I think we're just going to go through some areas that will set you up for security and help set your kids up. But you're the priority. We'll get into all that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
you're the
like
priority.
that I'm the priority.
You are the priority. And we're gonna go through that and some tips and tricks and all the things. So thanks for asking me all the questions, letting me talk your ear off.
This is great. I love it. I hope it helps someone outside. I mean, it's going to help me, but I hope it helps someone else outside of this.
If you have any follow-up questions, hit us up on the website.
And yeah, we'll post, I'll make Amanda post some of her resources
happily.
She spoke about earlier.
I love to do it. I have lists everywhere. So
oh, good.
More to come. Okay, next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.